Good morning, welcome to 59 Minutes. Levi Kones is my name, and I think we're starting off a little bit late, but you know, the show must go on. AMUNGA-GORVANANCE is here.
Yes.
Governance experts. Good morning.
Morning to you.
How are you?
Happy to be in this studio.
Tell me, are you watching the World Cup?
Yes, every day. I watched the opening ceremony. It was the best. Qatar have had, the best thing Qatar have is organization. I think that's why they are a world power economically.
They did well.
In playing football, they may not be good, but organization.
But people are enjoying them until they spend too much time organizing.
They forgot about playing.
Team.
They have everything. Someone says they are like Casemiro. They are the host, they have all the support, they have everything, but they could not win. They
could not win the game. But you know, football and politics kind of mirror each other.
Yeah, they are the same.
Jana niliona Saudi Arabia wakifanya mambo.
Yes.
Nikakumbushwa kuhusu elections ya juzi.
Yes, that you know, it's like the dynasties being the
guy you expect to win.
Yes, the dynasty is lost. Because Argentina is a dynasty, it's a power, it's a world power.
Yes. In you know, they're even being touted. They came into this cup as one of the guys favorites to win, not to win groups.
Favorites to win. So to be beaten by a team that is unknown, Saudi Arabia has never won a game. You know, it was a shock. To beat people like Messi,
yeah,
you know, that was like actually beating. That's why we are saying it's like the dynasty.
Wako holiday leo.
Today they are relaxing. You know, we thought that Saudi Arabia are only good at, you know, beating house girls.
I can't believe you.
Our people go there, they come back.
They come back wamechapwa.
Yes. But we discovered they can also beat world powers in football. They deserve the holiday. They played well. Their goalkeeper was the best. I was shocked that game actually. Yeah,
I'm happy for the World Cup because it removes us from the usual politics. Yes. Although we still keep an eye on politics.
Of course.
Because politics, some of the big things that happened this week, if I bring you back to it, is one, there was the story about the trip to Egypt.
Yes.
Nikaona imekuja kwa gazeti kidogo, imekuja kwa mtandao sana. Watu wanasema, hey.
Actually, you looked at that list and you'll just be surprised. We are trending right now as the people who took the largest delegation.
306 people.
306, some of them with their spouses. A bodyguard goes with his spouse, you know. You are the president's cook, but you also carry your spouse along. You know, it's reached a place where we wondered, so what was it all about? Was it a show off? And when we're talking about the economy and you're talking about cutting back on our budget, what Kenyans may not know that when you go abroad on official capacity, your per diem as a government official is even bigger than your salary for almost that year.
It is.
It's enough for your salary. Per day you are earning. I used to go out when I was a teacher and we are going out for East African Games. If you are taken out as a coach for the East African Games, ball games, say to Arusha or to Dar es Salaam or Kampala, I will be paid my money when I'm receiving my money at the Ministry of Education. My check is bigger than what I'm going to receive as a salary for the whole year.
Wow.
100, 200, 300,000.
So it's a place to cash in.
It's a way to cash in. You are paid per day. And you are paid in dollars if you are going outside in a country.
You know, how important do you think it is, Amunga, for government to be seen to be...
No, it's
to be showing that, you know, because when we talk about even in your own home, uwesema hakuna pesa, na watu wanakula mboga kwa nyumba, na wewe uko na masuti mpya.
Masuti umevaa tai.
You need to...
The president and his cabinet have reached a place whereby they'll have to be called to order. The order here is that the hustlers, the campaign tool that we used was the wheelbarrow. Tufanye kazi na bidii. Wheelbarrow was a symbol of hard work. Was a symbol of kujinyima. You can use a pickup, you can use a truck, you can use a lorry, you can use a trailer. But the symbol was the wheelbarrow. It was to say, to kaze mkanda, to jinyime. Let us deny ourselves so that we can have a better future. That's what the wheelbarrow indicated to me. And so when it reaches a place whereby Mama Mboga is able to see names of people who some of them were not seen anywhere, but now they're like, we are building another again dynasty. It's like now the dynasty is regrouping itself again in Kenya Kwanza. That a certain clique of people will be going for these trips. And what you're forgetting is that a journalist like you sent me the list now for Korea. Almost the same list that was in COP Africa.
Are now in Korea.
Egypt, are now in Korea right now as I speak to you. They were in DRC. From DRC straight they flew into South Korea. The budget, if you are to do the budget for those people to be in those countries and to be out there with the president, is big money. It is money that can be put anywhere, in a hospital, in a school, and it will change the
But you know, the flip side is people will say, they'll make a case and say presidential delegation requires guys who can talk about the economy, guys who are in different facets, not just the ministers, but also the technocrats inside to go and engage with, other technocrats on the other side.
The problem was the release of that list. If that list had shown that these are technocrats in climate change, these are technocrats in agriculture, instead they were reading, this one is an aid to the First Lady, amekuja na bibi yake. These are 5 aids of the First Lady. Yeah, there are a lot of aids.
Yeah. Hata niliona governors aids,
the aids.
Ministers.
So let's say Mithika Linturi goes to Korea today, he's there with maybe 5 bodyguards.
Now your list, your propaganda.
It's not propaganda, it came from the government. We counter-check that list and we discovered yes, at first it will look like it's a joke. Then we discovered it was true. And what we are asking our government is, guys, it's too early to start making these jokes. It's too early to make these mistakes. And these mistakes are happening in such a way that, let me tell you, even today in South Korea, what is trending on Twitter right now is our minister went there. Our minister for foreign affairs, Dr. Alfred Mutua, has made a statement to our people who live in Korea and told them, you people, why should you go back to Kenya? You are comfortable here. Why should you leave a good, comfortable job here in South Korea? You work here with your job and remit money back to Kenya, and we shall protect you. We now have a ministry for diaspora. It may look good, but what is he telling us who we are in Kenya? If I use the words like Kenyan economy is on a slow, it's on a slump. He's telling everybody in the world that he's serving a government or a country that cannot want his people to stay there. He's not proud of it. He's telling our people, stay where you are if you are abroad there. If you're in Saudi Arabia, stay in Saudi Arabia and do your work there as a house girl. If you're in Korea and you're sweeping the streets in Korea.
I agree with you, because it's supposed to, the people who work abroad are supposed to be working abroad because, well, they are working for whatever reasons they've gotten. But if given a chance, they should be happy
to be home, because they say east or west, home is best.
So when you make home look like, it is there's no option
there's
for you here, stay there.
Stay where you are. It's a slap in the face of Kenyans.
It's sad,
And the young Kenyans are asking, surely, are our ministers in Kenya Kwanza government very serious, or are they aware of the gravity of the statements that they make? And are they aware the statements that the President William Ruto wrote on when he was talking to us as Kenyans to vote for him? Because when you tell us that you're going back to Kenya to be a mama mboga or to be a hustler, it's like a death trap. You better remain in Korea. You better remain in China. Then our ministers means that they have lost it.
Speaking of ministers, I'm seeing Moses Kuria's face on all the daily papers.
Yes.
Yes. And I ask myself, how do you realize that since we saw in the cabinet, we're not 2 months in? We are barely approaching 2 months.
We are barely 2 months. The 100 days are not over.
They're not over. This concerns me.
Yes.
That within 100 days, we have a situation where some guys are saying we don't want that CS.
Yes. We want to impeach him.
Yeah. Too early.
It's too early.
Yeah. And how have we found ourselves here?
And I want to tell you, even as...
How has he found himself here?
Moses Kuria, even before he became the CS for trade and industry and manufacturing, he has been... He talks. He is very, very vocal in his speech.
He's democratic.
Yeah, he's democratic with he's liberal with his words. And sometimes his words are very good, He speaks as it is. But this time on, we are talking about a very sensitive topic called the GMOs, genetically modified organs, And he's telling us that one way or another, we will die. We don't need to fear GMOs. Somehow in Kenya, there are many ways to die, and we will die. And GMOs, we should not be... so simply, people have taken it to mean that he was telling us, GMOs is poison. We are going to kill you. It's one of the ways that we in
But
Kenya,
it's okay, you're dying from accidents, you're dying from...
You can die of hunger if you want. You can die of this, but at least now die when you have taken GMOs. So it has brought that topic of GMO.
Okay, in terms of PR, the statement was not good.
It's just not good. But in terms of facts, it has some facts in it.
Yeah.
That why should you die of hunger? for example.
Yeah.
We are seeing our Kenyans starving to death. Why should our animals starve to death? You know, I think the word you wanted to say is that why should you die because you don't have food? And we can come up with...
You know, the last time you were here,
Yes.
Amunga, we spoke about how...
Yes.
I don't know whether you remember, about how the ministers seem to
Are
be...
recanting their statements every
Yeah,
day.
they seem to be in an urge to to speak to media,
Yes,
to be on
yes.
TV,
On TV.
to tell the stories. And I remember you were saying
Yeah.
they should take time.
To be inducted, they need to go for seminars in Mombasa and Naivasha. They need to go to the Great Rift Lodge in
They need to know where everything
Yes.
is, kwa hii hall iko wapi, hata kwa ministry wapi.
Actually, you will also notice that the ones who are making all those blunders are the ones who have been politicians. And that is why the writers of our constitution envisaged such a situation. And they advised that the people will hold the positions of cabinet secretaries should be technocrats, should be professionals and not politicians. The mistake that our government made, Kenya Kwanza government, I'm a supporter and a person of Kenya Kwanza, we put too many former politicians into our cabinet. Moses Kuria is one of them. He vied for Kiambu County and didn't do well. We saw Aisha Jumwa recant a statement. She vied to be a governor. In Kilifi, she didn't make. We have seen Mochogu, Ezekiel Mochogu, the Minister for Education, recant his statement.
Yeah.
He vied to be an ambassador, to be a governor in this county called Kisii. He didn't make it. Alfred Mutua today, he was just the outgoing governor of Machakos. He's a political party leader. He's a leader of a political party called Chamashinani, CCM, something like that.
Yeah.
Chap Chap. He calls it Chap Chap, Maendeleo.
Maendeleo chap chap.
Yes. So we are talking about people, most of the people who are making these blunders are people who have served as politicians. They are politicians. They have been in politics. And what we are saying as Kenyans is this, and we need to ask ourselves.
Yeah, because I mean, look at the list. In fact, as you're talking, I wanted to look at imagine there's a minister called Rebecca Miano of East African.
Yes.
You're not hearing her.
You're not hearing Rebecca Miano.
Yeah, there is.
It's a technocrat. It's a professional.
Yeah.
That's a lady who was actually in the claim.
It's Professor Njuguna Ndungu
of World Bank.
Yeah.
I mean, right now in our central bank.
Yeah. In fact, the guys we have had, actually, there's a lot of politicians in the cabinet, and many of them, we hear them, but the people who are serious technocrats
are very quiet.
Under the water.
And they're just working. They're actually working. And that is where the question is. Well, these politicians that we brought in as now cabinet secretaries are our biggest problem. The president must rein in on them. And that's why he took some of them the other day to Kwale to open this factory, this great Indian called Devki, the one who is opening up factories around. And you saw, Aisha Jumwa stands up and says, Naibu wa Rais, sijui nani. You know, those mistakes are made by politicians. And then they say, you know, we are used to calling you like that when you were campaigning, so we are still getting to learn the ropes. Those kind of mistakes of calling the president, Naibu wa Rais, sijui nani. You know, those are the mistakes, the things they were doing when they were campaigning. And they still think that they're still in the campaign mode. They still imagine that they're still having those jokes of joking around the president. So these statements we are hearing from these guys, the CSS who are politicians, is because the hangover, bado wako, mpaka waenda watoe lock. They must go somewhere. Those who drink, they know what I'm talking about. When you have had a hangover, in the morning you go and take something extra again to remove the lock so that the hangover gets finished, and you discover now you have a job to do.
I hear
for
you.
Kenyans.
So speaking of the job to do, how are we going to resolve the GMO question?
GMO is here with us. Yeah, when I got the invitation to come to a show today, I work for Kenya Kwanza, and I saw them send me some notes, you know, that I'm sure you'll be asked about GMO. And they told me this is
your friend sent you.
Yes, they told me this is what we should
Enda ufunike hii maneno vizuri.
Because the permanent, the prime cabinet secretary, Right Hon Musalia, has a collective responsibility to support cabinet decisions.
Yeah.
And
Why do I want that guy there? When you go back, tell him we want him here.
We will come to visit you. But he was told not to politic. You know, that's the only problem he has.
No, ajibu GMO. Hiyo sio siasa.
So
we want answers.
So he can only speak through people like me now. But according to him, professionally speaking, he says, GMOs are already here with us. We can't run away from them as Kenyans. Unaona siku hizi we are able to eat chicken. In 3 weeks, an egg becomes a whole hen. It's a chicken in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
and you're able to eat it. That is GMO. Those are chemicals being used to pop it up.
Yeah.
Nowadays we have got pork. Pork is made in such a way that
I think people's concern, you see, like in the Western world,
yes,
and if you walked into a supermarket and you picked up GMO unga and organic unga,
yes,
first you would know that this is very branded well GMO.
Yeah.
Ingredients imeandikwa pale.
Yes, yes.
Organic unga wamesema this is organic, iko namna hii, ni ya kushaga.
Imetoka kwa posho meal.
Kwa posho meal. Hii unajua 1 2 3 4 these are the nutritive values iko nayo.
Yes.
Then you make a choice as a consumer.
Yes.
On what is best for you and your pocket. Of course, the organic is usually more expensive.
The organic is very expensive.
Yes. GMO is a bit cheaper.
So most people will go for the GMO because
which I guess is why the CS courier said, you know,
but ukufa njaa.
Usikufe njaa takes something. So I can understand in that sense.
Yes.
Don't you think that we should get to that point where, because the other question people ask is, okay, one, we don't know the ingredients of what's coming. Will we be able to label them? Because in Kenya, we still live in a country where at brown bread is fake.
It's fake, yeah.
It's colored.
Plastic even.
Yes. Yeah, people are coloring bread and white.
It's white, but we make it to some chocolate. You know, for it to look brown.
No, they dye the bread they give us. So will we be able to get to a point where a consumer can actually get information that is accurate? And then two, what about the people who are supposed to be in the science of these things? The guys who work at...
yes, Kemri.
Yeah.
They are being left out. Now, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Now, as much as I agree with my Prime Minister that GMOs are here, but I disagree with him on 2-3 issues. One, the regulations to guide and to protect consumers about GMOs have not been put in place. And that's what you're talking about. In those developed countries that you're talking about, there are proper laid down laws, bills of rights and constitutional in the law, embedded in the law, about how these GMOs will be sold in the market. In Kenya, you just go to the chips and chicken outlet, and you're just given your chicken and you eat. There is no way it's labeled that this is a GMO chicken.
GMO chicken, yeah.
Well, unakula tu. There's nobody's telling you that if viazi mnataka kula saa hii, they are grown in 1 week and it's already ready and it's on the table. It's GMO. You're not being told. So, you know, it's like tobacco, the way tobacco has been done in this country. There are so many bills that came up, so many motions that went through parliament, that before you smoke your cigarette, even the packet you are given is written on harmful to your health.
Paka iko na picha squeeze.
Paka na picha ya kuonyesha kwamba utakufa. There is a skull there. But you know you smoke it knowing you have been warned. Now, that is what is lacking in our GMOs. And that's what you are saying, that we are having issues right now that people, unscrupulous businessmen, are going to take advantage. And that is why we are annoyed as analysts that before even Moses Kuria could announce that even to Gazette that we are going to import maize to come into Kenya, already at Port of Mombasa, ship had docked in. Even before it was gazetted, already the ships.
That's where I had to say that the cartels are back. That
is the question people are saying, that the cartels are back. And they're protecting themselves even in a bigger and a better way.
So hii cartels imekuwa tena kama deep state. Some
now, the
unidentified fellows.
Somebody has written on Twitter today and said, Kenya Kwanza will be accused of preaching water and drinking wine, heavy, not even wine, drinking changa. Because we accuse them of state capture. We seem to be going into the same way of state capture. We accuse them of cartels. We seem to be having more cartels than even they had. We accuse them of clonemen and clowns and people who are dynasties. We seem even to have more dynasties around us than they had. And so people are now asking us, and it's a camera on the spotlight on this government. Are we really serious about what we told our people? I personally asked the Prime Minister on when I was coming, before I came here. I said, you know, even as I go to those shows, there are questions that are being asked. Are Kenyans really feeling? They're not feeling. I told him the Kenyans are not feeling like this government is performing to what they told them it would perform.
True, and you know what, Amunga?
Yes.
They have had the benefit of patience.
Yeah.
Guys have been patient. The new government came in, and then fuel went up by 20 bob.
Yes.
And guys were told, you know what?
No,
relax. Hii kitu itakuja kushuka. Ikashuka na bob, tena ikashuka na bob. But people are still relaxed, saying, you know what? When it turns around, itashuka. Recently, the president said, this unga thing, give me a year.
Give me at least a year.
Not seen tukisema hiyo ingine, wacha. Just give me a year for full turnaround. Guys also are relaxed.
Yeah.
But you know, there's a statute of limitations on patience.
Yes.
When you look into your crystal political ball,
Yes.
when do you see these patients running out?
In fact, December is too far. December,
You think so?
Christmas. Let me tell you, with the statements that people like Moses Kuria are releasing, with the statements that people like Alfred Mutua are releasing, when you see those headlines that you are seeing in the newspapers, and you see the face of the minister, and he's being bashed that he has allowed maize to come into the country at a time when in Eldoret we are now harvesting. You called me to come to this show. I was just driving through Olenguroni. I was just passing through these routes before Molo. And people are harvesting. Actually, our farms are golden right now. The maize is ready. Right now, you pass those routes, people are now there with sacks. Londiani, that's the route I used. Londiani. That's the route I Kuresoi. And people there are now, and I stopped at a hotel in Kuresoi to take a cup of tea. And the people who voted for the president, the current government, are in Kuresoi. And they know me, they've seen me on TV, they've seen me on CAS TV. Wakaniambia, wewe mheshimiwa, wewe uende waambie serikali yako sasa tunaanza kukasirika na hao. Umeona mahindi yetu ndio hii. Alafu ule Kuria anaanza kusema kwamba ati anaingiza mahindi huko Mombasa, malori imejaa. Sasa hii mahindi utauza pesa ngapi? Because those farmers planted when the prices were very high of farm inputs. They now want to make, at least to sell their maize. They want to sell their maize so that they can at least recover what they put in. Now when you tell them that maize is in Mombasa, Moses Kuria, Musalia Mudavadi, President William Ruto, just know that you are hurting the hustlers and they are going to come back for you. Let me tell you, it will be nasty. When the farmer in Kuresoi will discover he has maize and he can't sell it. There's maize that has come from, GMO maize has arrived from Mombasa or from wherever, and it's being sold at a cheaper price. That is the day that I'm telling you the hustler will rise.
So he patience
is running out. January is too far. January is too far.
Seriously?
Very far.
Yeah, you know the Kenyan of nowadays is not the Kenyan of 1980.
The Kenyan of today is enlightened. The Kenyan of today is on CAS TV, CAS FM. He's listening to you people right now. He's listening. He's seeing those headlines. And so anything that happens travels within no time. One of the things that has really disappointed Kenyans, my brother, and our dear listeners will bear me witness, is the issue of the education sector. When the minister announced that we will not fund universities, that is where the majority of our people are, youths. The people who voted for us, the youths, are in that category. Yeah. Those words. I'm
reading something about, in fact, you know what, let's take a break so I can come back so you can cover that nicely. Because, even, look, just this one paper here.
Yes.
Chini ni maize imports.
Yes.
Juu ni school burden.
Ni school burden.
Then you see, ni shida tu.
That's where I was going, but we'll go.
Wacha nikuje tuongee. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. Don't go away.